All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez here, your favorite wrestling fan in the whole entire world. Thank you for tuning into this show. Just kind of reiterate what we talked about. We had our WWE SmackDown review. We also had our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. We talked about Money in the Bank, and now we're going to jump on into WWE NXT Heatwave that aired live on Sunday night in I think it was Ontario, Canada. Don't quote me on this. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into it. So NXT Heatwave, absolutely. I thought it was electric. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was about time. But just kind of before we get into the match, is something that I kind of wanted to get off my chest a little bit. Hoping to get your guys' feedback. Obviously, send me a chat. Just giving me your feelings about what I'm about to say. I've noticed on WWE NXT that they don't say WWE anymore. They don't say WWE anymore. According to recent like interviews and stuff like that with Paul Levesque and also Shawn Michaels, people of WWE, meaning creative and stuff like that, staff and all that, WWE NXT is heading toward kind of becoming its own entity, kind of becoming its own show. Not really dabbling with Raw and SmackDown. Obviously, when the draft happens, they could, they're going to draft, NXT superstars, which is going to be absolutely crazy, absolutely like up in the air. Like, oh my God, like they're drafting, they're drafting Trick Williams and stuff like that. And this is something that kind of builds the excitement of WWE NXT. Obviously, you kind of had that Joe Hendry thing happen at the end. A lot of people, even myself, I was like, what? Like, that's crazy. You had a lot of collaborative ideas with TNA so far, which I was upset that on I think it was on NXT about 2 weeks ago or a week ago, they were talking about they had a chance to mention how Charlie Dempsey went to TNA, they didn't do it. They had a chance to talk about Izzy Game going to TNA, they didn't do it. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. Like, I kind of hate that. For collaboration to kind of work between wrestling promotions, there just needs to be this even keel of communicative barriers. And now with NWA looking to jump on into the mix, the NXT is going to the CW. Right now, you have the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, wrestle on the CW app. So this could very much be heading kind of toward just kind of like an open barrier, kind of opening that forbidden door for wrestlers all over the world to jump on into WWE NXT. But something that I kind of thought about, I was kind of pondering to myself, and maybe perhaps this could be absolutely like out of this could be asinine, this could be crazy, but I felt like once when WWE bought WCW, it would have been more beneficial for WWE to kind of keep this deal discreet. Obviously, Vince McMahon ego kind of carried it all. I felt like having WCW be owned by WWE discreetly, you could have had a separate brand, kind of mimicking, kind of holding these, kind of these wars, so to speak, kind of having superstars where you could develop them to come to WWE, perhaps. But obviously that, like I said, it didn't really happen. But I felt like, WCW could have damn near would have been like an NXT, like a separate entity, trying out new talents, creating collaborations between ECW, TNA, the NWA, the MLW, Stardom, New Japan Professional Wrestling, AEW, Ring of Honor. You could have done all that at an earlier time. But obviously, their times have changed. It's kind of crazy, kind of a crazy idea. Let me know in the chat section if you think I'm if I'm off my meds today, if I'm off my walker. All right, so we're gonna jump on into match one. We have Ariana Grace teaming up with Carmen Petrovich to take on JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. Every single time WWE kind of goes to another home country that loves the WWE, Canada and WWE are very simpatico. So kind of crazy, kind of cool. But you saw Ariana Grace and Carmen pick up the win. Pretty badass. I didn't expect anything less than that. But all four girls were very impressive, especially Ariana Grace, and I think they're going to fight on Tuesday. And I think that's going to be the number one contendership for Kaylani Jordan's WWE NXT Women's North American Championship. So definitely think that's kind of in the future there. All right, so let's talk about the WWE Women's North American Championship. Kaylani Jordan successfully defends her title against Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca is a very formidable competitor. Thought she was going to win the ladder match at first before she kind of got hurt. Both of these girls are very talented. Obviously, Kaylani Jordan, a gymnast. Sol Ruca, as athletic as they can be. A bunch of, reversals, a bunch of like crazy, like, acrobatic moves. And it was fun. It was fun to watch. Definitely love both of these women. Definitely both. Definitely think both of these girls are representing the brand really, really well. Kaylani Jordan, is a huge baby face right now. Would have been crazy. There was a time where after the match, we saw Kaylani Jordan go up to the top rope, put her title up in the air, and then Sol Ruca was kind of behind her. And I was like, oh my God, watch Sol Ruca go heel right now. Watch her go heel right now. She takes her down, throws her down on the mat. Like, oh, that would have been pretty ballsy. But for Sol Ruca to kind of hold that heel role, I feel like maybe it would have been kind of like a forced heel role that was like, okay, what do we do with this person now? What do we do with this person now? Let's see, there's always a heel turn. There's always a heel turn. So maybe it could have been like perhaps like a little forced. Obviously thinking out loud here, but it just would have been interesting. Would have been interesting. Oba Femi successfully defends his North American Championship against Wes Lee. Kind of love that this happened. I got to be honest. I do not have hate for Wes Lee, but he came back. And you can't just win the championship off of this complete badass in Obafemi, this Nigerian prince, this Nigerian soldier, this Nigerian badass. You just can't have him win it like right off the bat. Come on, Wes, what are you doing, dude? Like, so now Wes Lee lost. He cannot challenge Obafemi for the North American Championship as long as he holds it. I think it's kind of perfect. I think it's kind of perfect right now. I feel like Wes Lee might. I doubt he goes after Ethan Page. In all realisticness, maybe perhaps he tag teams with somebody maybe like Javon Evans to go after Axiom and Fraser's NXT World Tag Team titles. That's where I would take it. Totally two great superstars. You kind of need them to take this place in NXT. They're like, look, Javon Evans, up and coming rising star. Wes Lee, a very honorable. Obviously, he's the best to ever hold the North American Championship. Let's have them tag together to dethrone Nathan Fraser and Axioms. That could have been in Nathan Fraser and Axiom once again. Prove me wrong. Once again, these guys are clinically and notably better as a tag team. It's I'm sick of fading these guys. I'm sick of fading these guys. This is like that NFL team that you're like, all right, they're gonna take a crap. They're gonna lose. They're gonna drop the big goose egg. They're not gonna be each other. They're not gonna be there for each other. They're gonna turn heel. They're gonna go against each other, especially after all the turmoil in the back. And Chase U needs more of a better role within WWE NXT. I feel like this was ultimately like a setback for Chase U. Definitely saving like a Rich Holland. Going kind of rogue within the university, which is Thea Hale wasn't happy when they lost. Thea Hale was going crazy. It was kind of funny. It was kind of funny, but credit Nathan Fraser and Axiom. I watched their match and I was like, damn, I understand why NXT is holding keeping the titles on these guys. So kudos to them. Next we have Lola Vice against the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez she's unstoppable right now. I'm not really sure anybody on the NXT roster could really take her down. Not even in, TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Gray. Obviously, you had Tatum Paxley and Ash by Elegance have interference, kind of there by that. But right now on the NXT roster, I don't really see any women right now being able to contend with Roxanne. And, she's a hell of a champion. She's a hell of a champion. I don't see her losing anytime soon. I honestly do not. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Roxanne Perez. It took like 4 Pop Rocks, I think it was 4 Pop Rocks to defeat the former MMA, superstar Lola Vice, fighting for her family. It was a little, it was a little somber, a little sad. I was watching. I was like, okay, Lola Vice. Yes, she has shown potential. And according to WWE News, I read an article on Ringside News that Shawn Michaels is preparing for her to make her main roster debut. But when it's going to happen, not too sure. What is it? Keon? No, it's not Keon. Kiana James? Kiana James? She's been on the roster on WWE, Monday Night Raw. hasn't really been shown too much. Lyra Valkyria, not really. Blair Davenport on SmackDown, not really. So if you have Lola go into WWE SmackDown, that would be pretty cool. Because right now, Monday Night Raw is in love with this Liv Morgan kind of storyline. And lastly, we have the WWE NXT World Heavyweight Championship, which was an absolute banger, a great match. But like I mentioned on my last podcast, I was like, if Trick Williams is going to lose his championship, it's going to happen tonight. Basically, like, oh, I was never pinned. Like, what the hell? It happened. Ethan Page is now your face of WWE NXT. All ego, Ethan Page is now the man of WWE NXT. Ethan Page, all ego, is now the new WWE NXT World Heavyweight Champion. I'm going to throw a round of applause. I like this. Ever since Ethan Page debuted on SmackDown, on NXT, I was like, dude, this guy's going to be a star. This guy's going to be a star. People love Trick Williams. People love Trick Williams. But him as a favorite, kind of like a Bailey, kind of like a Cody Rhodes. As a chaser, you're kind of more popular and kind of more marketable as the actual champion. Trick Williams did, he defeated Ilya Dragunov. He defeated Ilya Dragunov. He defeated a lot of good competitors. But, oh man, that was big. NXT was full of surprises. Well, obviously, there was no other title changes besides, what happened on this match. And it was well worth the wait. It was well worth the wait. After, everybody started retaining their championship, I was like, okay. I was like, oh, great. So now Trick Williams is going to win. Dude, that's cool. But I feel like, kind of moving forward, Ethan Page, you're going to get a rematch with Trick Williams. But, having Ethan Page recently win and just losing it right off the bat, especially with his reputation being, coming from AEW, I don't think that's formidable. What you would do right now from WWE is perhaps have Trick Williams kind of blame Javon Evans a little bit. Like, dude, you lost me my WWE NXT North American Championship. My WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Kind of like a what the hell, dude, causing kind of driving a wedge a little bit between them. But yeah, it was amazing. It was crazy. So, like I said before, Ethan Page is your WWE NXT North American Champion. Guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to end with a little segment I like to call John Cena retiring. A lot of tears, a lot of you deserve it, or a lot of, thank you, Cena chants going on within the arena at in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So, yeah, let's dig on into that. So, hey, do not go anywhere.